And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike at mbuck41 on the Twitter machines. If you are new, the man over here to my left is Marcus the Freak. That is his Twitter handle, at Marcus the Freak. Marcus, how's it going today, man?
Pretty good. I'd be doing a lot better if a certain outcome had went different last night, but no, I'm doing good.
Well, let's just go ahead and start about this. Talk about this certain outcome. If you guys did not listen to yesterday's show, I said Celtics were going to win by a little or lose by a lot, and they lost by a lot last night.
Yeah.
Marcus, I was after a loss like that, after a season-ending loss, the way they did, and the what's the word I'm looking for? The free agency that Kyrie Irving is getting ready to have. His post-game conference was basically him saying that he's not going to be back in Boston whatsoever at all.
Yeah.
I feel he was kind of checked out, and his teammates are like, "Hey, man, let me pack your bags for you." At this point, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Kyrie even has a chance of coming back to Boston, or do they even want him back?
No, I don't think they want him back. I think the feeling is mutual. He checked out. He checked out, and let's give Milwaukee Bucks defense credit as well. They helped him check out. He shot 30% from the field in the last 4 games. Basically, it's like a gentleman sweep. We let you win one game, and then we'll just sweep your ass the next 4. That's what the Bucks did to Kyrie Irving and the boys there. Kyrie needs to get the hell out of there. He needs to go to the Knicks, join Durant there, and they'll get Zion Williamson. They have Kevin Knox. They got some good pieces there, and they'll be off and ready to compete for the Eastern Conference Finals there. The Boston Celtics are moving in another direction. Get off of Kyrie. What you're going to have to do now is Rozier, who was the backup point guard last year, who really pretty much led the Celtics into Game 7 Eastern Conference Final before he had his own mess up and went like 0 for 7 or 0 for 12 or something ridiculous. But Rozier's a hell of a player. They're going to have to pay Rozier 50, 60, 70 million, however it's going to be. And he's got to be the point guard in the future. They're going to have to try to move off. I would move off of Gordon Hayward somehow. I'd dump him somewhere. Maybe he comes back next year better. That's what the Celtics would hope. But I wouldn't. As a GM, I'd be looking for trades to get rid of Gordon Hayward. And my nucleus going forward would be Tatum and Brown and Rozier. And then I'd sign pieces around them. I got 3 first-round picks, too, number 14, 20, and 22.
Yep.
I'm going to try to rebuild again. Now, they might want to keep Gordon Hayward, to mentor the young guys, but I think the young guys did well the couple of previous years without Gordon Hayward being there. So we'll see if there's – listen, he's not a terrible player, Gordon Hayward, so if there's no takers, I'd go ahead and keep him. But Kyrie, to answer your question, gone, out of there. Nobody wants him there. It didn't fit. They did better without him. That being said, there's a reason they did better without him. Because it wasn't as good as competition it was this year. That being said, it doesn't matter. He wants to go. The feeling's mutual. Get Kyrie Irving out of there.
You guys were in here.
Yeah. Let's get Kyrie out of there and build and have Rozier as your starting point guard.
I can go ahead and move it. It is no big deal. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. Apparently, people like to just not follow rules around here, but it is what it is. Speaking of following rules, Celtics this year, I was really excited about them.
Me too.
To be honest, they had a lackluster regular season, but then if you look back last year, they made it to the conference finals without Kyrie, without Gordon Hayward, and in our heads we're like they're adding their 2 best players back on the team. There should be no reason why they're not in the finals, and this just shows you that they don't need Kyrie. They don't need Gordon Hayward. So you definitely got to trade these guys off or just let them go off into the wind. Kind of keep it, peaceful, I guess. You don't want to burn any bridges whatsoever. Because just like what you said, Gordon Hayward is a good asset to a team to mentor young players, He showed a lot of heart of coming back from that broken ankle or dislocated ankle or whatever exactly that horrific injury was. But it was the Celtics are the team that never was. You had all you had all these pieces, wanted to put them together. It just the puzzle pieces weren't fitting quite right. And last year they fit pretty good without Kyrie and without Gordon Hayward. So move on from that. Take your 3 picks that you have in the first round, and the draft this year may not be perfect, but you can always trade those picks for next year. Like if there's a team looking for like a PJ Washington or somebody like just like that, and then you have to build your team young. Because the East is so weak right now. Next year it might change with KD coming to the Knicks and like all that stuff. But you definitely gotta rebuild right now.
Well, the East isn't so much weak in a sense. It's weak at the bottom, but it's real top heavy, really good. So that's part of the reason why the Celtics struggled as well. Some of this falls on the coach though, Brad Stevens, not just Kyrie Irving. Your job as a coach is to put the players in the best positions to succeed, and I don't think he did that. I don't think he conveyed to his team, look, this is how we're moving forward.
Right.
Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, this is how we're gonna implement them in our system, going what we had last year. Brad Stevens did a not good job of that as well. So some of it falls on the coach too. And like I said, Kyrie's done. Gordon Hayward, that's we'll see what happens there. Wouldn't shock me at all if a veteran team, that's a big contract, but say a veteran team is desperate, maybe they have some cap space and they think they're a piece away from winning. I could see Gordon Hayward meshing with LeBron really well. He's a knockdown shooter. Something could happen there, a trade there. Something can go, if the Lakers are desperate, that's something, that we can explore. But Kyrie's got the player option. So that would be absolutely shocking if he opted into the Celtics, because at that moment, I think you'd have a lot of Celtics wanting to be traded. So there's no way that Kyrie opts in. Kyrie will opt out in a few weeks when this season's over.
Yeah, to be honest with you, he was opt out 3 games ago. Like he said,
he opted out 3 games ago.
Yeah, like it is what it is. Right. But speaking with your fits for Gordon Hayward here, Denver Nuggets sound pretty enticing right now, huh? Like he could go back home and possibly possibly do.
Yeah, if you think that you're Denver Nuggets could think they're a player away, an all-star away from winning the whole thing. I don't know how he could fit in there, but just the money aspect of it. You'd have to move money around and I don't know if Denver would want Gordon Hayward, but yeah, I just mentioned LeBron. It's probably far-fetched, but I tell you right now, LeBron would want Gordon Hayward. I don't know if he's getting like $27 million right now, but I don't know how they fit that in. But if the Lakers got desperate and didn't get anybody, Gordon Hayward would be a good complementary piece to LeBron James.
To be honest, he would be a good complementary pick to just about any team except for the Celtics right now. Just for some reason, though, Kyrie and Gordon are just not fitting in the Celtics system.
Kyrie's the one that makes it that way, though, Michael. Like, in other words, let's just say Kyrie's gone. All those shots go with Kyrie. So now you have Rozier as a point guard. He's a facilitator. Maybe Gordon Hayward, Tatum, and Brown are your 3 options, and maybe it flows a little better. Kyrie's probably the problem there. And then second, Gordon Hayward's like the third problem. It's Kyrie first, then the coach, then Gordon Hayward with this team. But I think Kyrie is the real guy. I hate to use the word cancer, but I'm gonna do it anyway. He's like the cancer. Get him out of there. He'll opt out of there. He realizes it.
Right.
But Rozier should be the most upset because, like I said, he took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals and he couldn't even get on the court. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, like this might be a reach, but if Kyrie doesn't go to New York with KD, what do you think about him joining back up with LeBron in LA? They kind of had like a bromance happening earlier this season, texting back and forth.
Absolutely. That's really that would be a really good fit. I would be a really good fit with LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. So we'll see if he wants to go back with LeBron. It'll be up to Kyrie. It'll be up to Kyrie because if Kyrie's agent called the Lakers and said, or he called LeBron just personally and said, hey, I need you and you need me, LeBron probably is going to make that happen. So it's up to Kyrie whether he wants to live in New York or L.A.
Yeah.
As funny as it sounds is a player that just shot 30% in 4 games, he's has options. Like he gets to dictate where he wants to go because he's so talented. but that's amazing that how he can just crap the bed like that and shoot 30%, whatever. I mean, yeah, it was 30% in the last 4 games, and still, yeah, it's horrible. I mean, he played horrible, and still have the options of where he wants to go, whether it be New York or L.A.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the box scores from last night. He did lead the team in points from last night, but he had 15 points. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You are definitely not a championship contending team when your leading scorer only scores 15 points. Especially,
Absolutely.
Mean like, yeah, they had some other contributors. Tatum had 14. Morris had 14 off the bench as well. Haywood had 7 off the bench as well. And speaking of Rozier, he had 7 points off the bench as well. So, yeah, I guess it was kind of facilitating a little bit around. But when you are down by 30-plus points and you only have 15 points from your leading go-getter, scorer, all-star team, I mean, things aren't going to happen there. So just to go back to the start of the game here, the Bucks did win last night, 116-91. I really don't think the Celtics showed up, to be honest. Like I told you guys this yesterday on yesterday's show that the Celtics were pretty much checked out. They don't want to travel back to Milwaukee for a Game 7, and it pretty much showed.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take a quick break, Marcus, and we'll come back and talk a little Golden State Houston. Is KD's injury bad as we think it is?
Right.
Who knows? We'll find out 1 second. All right, guys, and welcome back to the Marcus and Mike Show. Like I said, I am Mike at mbuck41 on the Twitter machines. The man over here to my left is Marcus at Marcus the Freak on the Twitter machines here. Last night, the Golden State Warriors kind of gave up a 20-point lead. They were 104-99 total final score there. KD suffered that injury. At first, we thought it was Achilles the way he was injured. Steve Kerr come out and said it was just a calf injury, though. Do you believe him?
I think that's right. I think that's right. I mean, Achilles injuries, unless it's just a strained Achilles injury, usually Achilles injuries, he would have need help off the court.
Yeah.
Literally.
No. Let's not, because you saw Kobe Bryant finish.
He needed help.
But
he needed help off the court.
He still walked off the court. I've seen players, or I do like weightlifting stuff. I've seen somebody tear his Achilles and he still finished his lift. So, I mean, it's definitely painful, but you can definitely walk off.
I haven't seen too many. I mean, like you just mentioned a couple, but Kobe Bryant did shoot his free throws because he's a tough son of a gun. Yeah. The guy you said that was lifting, holy shit, that guy's probably tough as nails. But because Achilles, because what I've heard about Achilles injuries is it feels like you've been shot almost, like a bullet has entered your back. And if you notice, Kobe when he was leaving, I think he needed help like going to the locker room. He shot his free throws, but I don't know. I mean, it could be an Achilles. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I mean, you could be right. You've seen it. You've probably been to the gym more than I have. You've seen it. But I think it's a calf strain, and that's not good either, Michael, because a calf strain, I think a grade 1 is he misses 10 days or something. And then grade 2 is he misses a month, and grade 3, we'll see him, and next time we see him, he'll be in a Knick uniform.
Right.
So the calf strain's not good either. They could possibly lose this series if even a grade 1 and he's out 7 to 10 days. That's what I've been told on a calf strain game grade 1. So he would miss games 6 and 7. So they possibly could lose the series over that. I don't think they will. It was amazing to watch last night because after KD goes down, then the Golden State Warriors turn into a regular great team and not a super team. But they were still a great team. It's like the 2016 team. When you can trot out there Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Andre Iguodala, and then they had a Kevin Looney out there, 6'9", rebounding and blocking shots, who did fabulous, by the way. Looney played his role. Basically, Looney's just there to do the dirty work. So the Golden State Warriors are still a hell of a team. like I said, they're just a great team when they lose Kevin Durant. They're not the super team. And what I noticed a little bit, their offense changed a little bit. They weren't as much ISO. Now, they're not as much ISO as the Rockets, but they changed a little bit. Draymond became even more of a facilitator than he normally is. They went back to the offense before Kevin Durant arrived, and Draymond was facilitating the ball to Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, and he was back in that role more so because KD, sucks a lot of the shots up. So they turn into that team of 2016. Now, they don't have the depth, so it's not totally the team of 2016. But at the end of games, you can put those 4 guys on the court at the same time. It's like the 2016 team minus Harrison Barnes. And Curry lives a lavish life too, even without. Listen, they all live lavish lives because they're playing when Kevin Durant's on the court. I mean, it's like nobody can get double teamed.
Right.
But when I say Curry lives a lavish life, even with KD gone, is he doesn't have to do normal point guard things. He's doing like a 2 guard and running off screens and everything else. And oh my goodness, Draymond Green is the facilitator. So what happens is Curry's running off screens and Draymond Green is finding him. So Curry doesn't have to come down the court and do regular point guard things and find people and do this and get into the lane a lot of times. He's doing like a 2 guard. He's running off screens, and Draymond Green is a great facilitator. Draymond Green, if you notice, he liked it when KD was out. I'm telling you right now, if you were to ask Draymond Green, hey man, it was kind of fun, wasn't it, when KD left, because you were back in the offense, so to speak. It was more on you to get everybody involved, and so and what's really disappointing is the Rockets did not take advantage of Kevin Durant being gone. Because Golden State still struggles scoring more so than if KD was on the court. That's a fact. Even though Draymond and those guys are formidable at scoring, Klay Thompson and Curry, they score easier when Kevin Durant's on the court. And man, Chris Paul just blew it last night. 3 of 14 from the field. That's ridiculous. I mean, he has got to show up. As soon as KD left, they should have been scoring at will and coming back. I mean, I think James Harden took 1 shot in a 10-minute span. He blew it last night too. So they're going to look back. If they lose this series, I think they can win it. This is really up for grabs. Right. I thought that the Warriors were just going to, just easily win this series with Kevin Durant. Now this thing's up for grabs. The good news is for Golden State is all they need to do is win 1. Houston has to win 2. But man, Houston Rockets blew it last night. They had an opportunity when Durant went out, and neither one of their top stars, Chris Paul and James Harden, got the job done. It was kind of ridiculous. They should have got the job done when KD went out, and now they might rue the day that they blew this opportunity to win a Game 5. Well, it's really disgusting to me, to be honest.
Well, like I hear what you're saying, but like I'm watching the highlights of the KD injury, and it's definitely pretty low for a calf like where he reached. But he did walk all the way into the locker room, and what you were saying that that even Kobe had to get help into the locker room there. But when KD went out, they were up by 15 points, and they ended up only losing by 5. So they definitely
Michael when KD went out, he shot it and it made it 68-65.
Okay, then
so Golden State was up 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, they were still down by 20 early.
Yes, you're right on that. They were down by 20. Yeah, they were down 20,
and they come back. So that's got to be positive for them a little bit. It's like because if it is a level 1 calf strain, just like what you said, he's out 10 days, and lucky for them, they're kind of living this luxury series where they're having 2 or 3 days breaks like in between games. So KD will probably miss Game 6 for sure. If there is a Game 7, he might be back depending on the severity of the strain by any means. But just like what like you were saying, this is made this a brand new series with the KD injury 100%, and I almost want to say it favors Houston like at this point, just because Golden State has to now learn how to play without KD taking all the shots, and like he's basically been carrying them this series. Like he's averaging 35 plus points this series, having a really good series. So, like I don't want to sound like a hypocrite by like any means, but let's flash back to the first round series when they were toying with the Clippers for those 3 games for those 6 games. If they just would have closed it out in 4 like they should have, would have KD's injury of came up, because most of these injuries is just a wear and tear of the body, and then two extra full games that you didn't need. So,
you are 100% correct.
So
you are 100% correct. This is why you don't fool around with the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
This is, and now they're fooling around with the Rockets.
Yes.
This is not the same. Yeah, this is not the same team that won it last year that beat LeBron in 4 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
This is not the same team at all. Like the way they're playing, they're turning it off and on a lot more. Absolutely. And we'll know if it's an Achilles or a calf or whatever. But I'll tell you right now, maybe he was able to walk up. Maybe he didn't completely rupture the Achilles.
Yeah.
So maybe, but still, if it's a strained Achilles or whatever, that's bad news too. That's really bad news. So
because is just a ticking time bomb at that point.
That's a ticking time bomb, because even if he comes back for Game 1 versus the Nuggets, right, and it was a strained Achilles or whatever, he could tear it Game 1.
Yeah.
So they have to be really careful with his future there. Absolutely. Yeah. And KD has to be really careful. As a matter of fact, I always try to speak like if I'm the agent or the father or whatever. I don't care about this ring. To be honest with you, if that was my son, if Kevin Durant was my son or I was his uncle, and it says it's a strained Achilles, we're not playing. The next time we see you, Golden State's offering us the max contract, and we'll see you in a Golden State uniform week 1 at their new arena, because they're going to have a new arena. Or I will see you Game 1, and I'll be my nephew will be in a Knick uniform. I'm not playing this series anymore, because what happens is you're right. It's a ticking time bomb, Michael, like you just said. And Game 1, he could tear it.
Yeah, and
this is the Nuggets.
Yeah, and and if you tear something like just like that, like you are never certain to come back like a 100% healthy. Look at Kobe. Like he came back and he was never the same player that like he had like he ever was. People tear ACLs all the time, and usually, probably 70% of the time, their careers are just about over. So, like, anytime you tear something, strain something, like, you definitely have to take really big caution and proceeding forward at this point. So I agree with you 100% there. He needs to make sure he's 100% because his career, his future is in jeopardy if he comes back too soon or rushes it 100%. Do you still have Golden State winning this series?
Yes, I do, because but it's going to be a lot more difficult. I think Houston kicks their butt Game 6, to be honest. And I think Game 7 is going to come down to the wire because they're going to be at home at Oracle, and it'll just be. I just don't think that the Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry will let it get away. And I think Game 7 is going to be like a 93-93 with 5 minutes left. Mm-hmm. But I think Houston should absolutely blitz them in Game 6. It would actually worry me for Houston if they just barely beat Golden State.
Yes,
it's Game 6 because that's. I want to see a 10 to 15 point win by the Rockets in Game 6 if Kevin Durant's not there.
So they do play on May 10th, which is Friday night. Is the next Houston game there? So they do have a day off for travel. They'll have a little shoot around, but I'm going to agree with you. I think Houston does come out and wins Game 6, while Golden State learns how to play without Kevin Durant on the court. They'll try some different rotations, try to get some people in and out, see what mixture is working the best, and then Game 7 they will execute that like a little bit more fluently. So let's move on to tonight's game. The first game we got here is we got Raptors versus 76ers. Raptors do lead the series 3-2. Going back to Philly, not Cali. Going back to Philly.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard's averaging 27 points per game here. Who do you got winning tonight?
Damn, is that all 27? I thought he was in the 30s. Maybe, like 30.
I think.
Oh, you know what? He he only had 21 points.
Only.
Right, the last game. So I guess maybe the average went down. I don't know. I was thinking 30-something. Yeah, answer your question, Mike. I think the Sixers come up and they win this game. It's like a Sixers last stand kind of.
Right.
And they've been hearing all the media and all the people talking about how Joel Embiid's not showing up and all,
He's not. He's
Jimmy
trash.
Butler, Ben Simmons, you suck, and you should be traded. And who would you trade? I mean, that's all the talk's been. Who would you trade? Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and all that. Players hear this, and they have a lot of pride. And I think they come out and they win Game 6. I think it's a close game. We'll find out a lot about the Sixers tonight if they just kind of just lose this game and let Kawhi do whatever he wants to do, and then the Sixers lose this game by 10 or 15 or something like that. Then it's the Sixers. That's an off season for the ages. That's one of the most exciting off seasons I'll see this year. Besides the Warriors and the Celtics, what do you do with those 5 starters? Those 5 really good, couple of great players, and about a couple of really good players on that starting 5 the Sixers have. They have a wealth of talent there in that starting 5, and they have 3 unrestricted free agents out that group. So we'll see what happens with them in free agency. But I think they rise up tonight, and I think they get the job done and beat Toronto, and then force a Game 7.
I've been going back and forth on this game a lot. I've been thinking about it for the last 5 or 6 hours here, just going back and forth on it. I think the Raptors are going to win Game 6 tonight. I just have faith that they don't want to risk a Game 7. I'm not for sure who said that. I believe it was Kyrie Irving or somebody said that. You never know what's going to happen in a Game 7.
Right.
I mean, lucky for them, they do have 2 chances to beat Philly. They have two chances to win one game versus Philly here. And as a player, as a coach, I'm giving everything I got in this Game 6 just because I want a few days extra rest, because I think the Trailblazers Denver series is going to go 7 games. My mind's somewhere else right now. I don't want to play that extra 7 or that extra game and give the Bucks extra days rest.
Because the Bucks have already wrapped it up. Yeah.
So if you are playing a Game 7, that gives the Bucks 5 days rest, 6 days rest maybe, 4 days rest maybe. But either way, they're going to have a lot more rest than you, and you're going to come out and get blown out in Game 1. You have to travel to them as well. So they definitely need to wrap this up tonight, get a couple days rest, and then get ready for a Milwaukee coming up. So that's why I think they'll come out. It's going to be a really good game. I'm talking 106, 105 type of score, really high scoring, really close all the way through. I'm not anticipating anybody really pulling out ahead by more than 12 points at any given time. I
agree. This is pretty evenly matched. I agree with that.
Player to watch tonight, Kyle Lowry. I think he finally comes out. Was it Game 4 in Orlando? He had a really good game. He's due for another good game, and I think tonight, if you're playing any type of fantasy playoff basketball or anything, you have to pick him up. I think he's due to have a great game. He wants to gain the trust of his teammates, of the city, of the country, for their sake. So he definitely has to have a good game tonight, and I think he will.
Player to watch for me, I think he only made 1 shot or something ridiculous. I have to look that up, but it was pretty bad. I'm just going off of memory. I didn't look at the stats, but J.J. Redick was basically a non-factor in the last game. How many?
1 3-pointer last game.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm remembering. I mean, he was a non-factor. J.J. Redick has at least 20 tonight and makes 5 or 6 threes tonight. It's like their last stand.
Yeah.
Sixers have to get this game. I think J.J. Redick will hit 6 threes tonight on his way to 23 points.
Yeah, and I'm going to anticipate Joel Embiid having a horrible game. I don't think he shows up. He tweaks his knee in pre-games or something, and he's going to be a non-factor.
Well, what's nice about it is for the Raptors' point of view, that trade for Marc Gasol was perfect for this series because he's, everybody else looks small on Embiid except for Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol looks like he can look Embiid in the eye and guard him really well.
And a hobbled Joel Embiid is good for Marc Gasol as well because he's not that. He is not the player that he once was. He's calmed down a little bit.
Right, and then Marcus Gasol's out there shooting threes too, and Embiid's got to guard him. So it's a good matchup for Gasol. It's a decent matchup while Embiid is hobbled.
Yeah, well, speaking of good matchups here, we are a final game for tonight, Game 6, Denver versus Portland, going back to Portland. Damian Lillard's averaging 26 points per game here, leading all scores. Who do you got winning tonight?
I got Portland winning tonight, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Denver won. They have the best player on the court. His name is Nikola Jokic. It's not Damian Lillard. And Damian Lillard's averaging 26 a night. That's fine. But he's still been struggling. I know 26 points a game. It's like, damn, you're saying a guy struggling, averaging 26 points a game, but you can see it. He's just not the same player that he was in the first round going up against Russell Westbrook.
He's tired.
It's like something was emotionally is drained from Damian Lillard. But I think the emotion rises back up tonight because it's do or die. And him and CJ McCollum, I think, will get 30 apiece. And I think they'll beat the Nuggets tonight. But I think the Nuggets are, as good as Portland is, a well-rounded team that they are, I think the Nuggets are even a more well-rounded team than Portland is. And it wouldn't shock me at all if Denver went in here and won Game 6. Look, Denver could have had many opportunities to win Game 3 in that quadruple overtime, and they ended up coming back. And Denver showed me a lot by winning Game 4. And so they're not really intimidated at all playing out Portland. Nuggets, man, I think it's like a second home to them. I mean, they felt great in shooting their shots. That's why it went to quadruple overtime. They're not intimidated at all. They're feeling, and that's why they came back and won Game 4. Denver Nuggets are fine. They're the better team. Wouldn't shock me at all if they won. But like I said, just much like the Sixers, this is Portland's last stand.
Yeah.
I don't think Portland goes out like that in front of the home folks. I think they get the job done here, Portland Trailblazers. We're talking 112 to 109 type final. It's going to be really close.
Yeah,
probably be a free throw shooting contest down the stretch.
Right. Let me refer to your energy being let out the building type of thing that you said earlier. If you remember a week or so, maybe two weeks ago, when Portland won that first round series, like I said, that they were celebrating like they won the championship.
Yeah.
Now they're now it is showing because they are so emotionally drained after that first round win, which you shouldn't be that excited. I mean, like, yes, you win a playoff game or a playoff series, awesome, but it is time to move forward. And I still think they're kind of checked back out, like, hey, we're finally in the second round, and they are. Damian Lillard is excited about it, and it is starting to show. Like he has that quote stuff off his back. But now it's showing in the second round like you are emotionally tired. I mean, they might even be physically wore out because they never played this many games. I mean, like an extra 5 games is a lot of games.
Absolutely, and that altitude gets you. That altitude there in Denver, players hate it. I used to be in the media all the time. Players would say, "Man, it sucks." I mean, playing there, and then you have to play, and it's just one game. Now you have to play a whole series in Denver.
Yeah.
And they had home court advantage. So you're looking at 4 games in that altitude. I mentioned this the other day, people are getting on DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge here in San Antonio, but that altitude wears on you. You see how Portland isn't faring very well either, just like the Spurs aren't against Denver. And Nikola Jokic is the best player on the court. So he was the best player on the court in the Spurs series as well. So, I mean, the altitude combined with Jamal Murray, who's coming into his own, plus Nikola Jokic, it'll probably be too much for Portland to ultimately overcome.
Yeah, you are 100% right, but I do think they win tonight as well. Even though they were celebrating that first round win for an extended period of time, I don't think they get beat on their home court. I think the fans are going to be really into it. Lillard's going to have a great game, but they're definitely going to lose Game 7 moving forward here. So 7-game series, Nuggets win, obviously. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and I'm going to come back with you with a little bit of Super Bowl questions.
All right.
Super Bowl? What?
Man, I couldn't remember Draymond Green name for a couple of seconds there. I tell you what, I hate Draymond Green. I try to block him out. That's probably why I forgot it. That guy's, God, I can't stand Draymond. See him last night. He hit Paul or something. I mean, just an idiot.
Yeah, he's
I mean, I'd want him on my team, but damn, dude, like really?
Yeah.
He got the charge and then he got up and hit Chris Paul. Did you see that? Just stupid.
I was kind of checked out a little bit.
Yeah, if you're a coach, come here. What are you doing? You just gave Houston a free point with a technical. Stop it.
To be honest, though, Steve Kerr really doesn't have a handle on that team. Like
he doesn't.
He's kind of just like riding a rocket through space. And
right, and that's why it's going to break up. That's why it's going to break up. Durant's going to be gone, or Draymond's going to be gone, and if none of them are gone, Klay might move to LA.
I could foreseeing like if this does like blow up, like everybody's thinking is, KD's gone and Klay's gone, like et cetera. I could see Steve Kerr getting fired in 2 years, honestly, just because hey, like you were an 80-win coach like 2 years ago, and like now you're only winning 50 games, like be in the fourth or fifth seed heading into the playoffs. I mean,
well, Klay will stay if Durant leaves, because then Klay's going to get his shots.
Well, apparently Klay Thompson's dad works for LA.
Yeah, no, he works. He works with He's been doing that with the Lakers. He's a Lakers announcer.
Okay, I mean, like, I don't know, like how cool would it be to like have your dad like announcing your games?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been a like that high of professional athlete, so I don't know. Like, I think it would be cool, kind of live like your dad, watching all your games and stuff. But I don't know. Like, it is what it is.
No, if Kevin Durant stays, I could see Klay Thompson leaving.
We'll find out in a few weeks, huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. The man over here to my left is Marcus. Marcus, like we said yesterday here, football 17 weeks away. Regular season football 17 weeks away. And ESPN, worldwide leader of sports apparently, come out with some Super Bowl odds here. So there are five teams in five games as well that they have. So I'm going to list you off these team names and like give you the percentage of the winning the Super Bowl. And out of those 5 teams, you gotta pick one, and then we'll go down to the games as well. 5 games, I'll give you the percentage. You got to pick the game as well. Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl? Okay, let's start with the games.
Okay.
First, the most likely Super Bowl odds here at 7%. You have New Orleans Saints versus Kansas City Chiefs. Next up, you have Saints versus Patriots. After that, Rams versus Chiefs with 6%. After that, Rams versus Patriots. And coming in with 3% chance of happening, Saints versus the Colts. Out of those 5 games, who do you think is going to be the most probable Super Bowl game?
Rams and Chiefs. Golly, that would have been a great Super Bowl. I mean,
last year.
I didn't jot everything you just said down. I mean, I'm trying to go off memory what you just said, but man, the Rams and Saints was a D Ford offsides away from happening.
Yep.
And what was that? That final on Monday Night Football? Did you? I'm about to ask you the dumbest question I've ever asked you. Did you watch it?
100%.
Yeah. It was 54-51.
Yeah.
I mean, would that have been the most amazing Super Bowl? I think
there was at one point the Chiefs were down 21 points and they took a 14-point lead. So
it's ridiculous. Yeah. No, and then they had a nice little back and forth at the. I mean, I think the final was 54-51 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. That would be one heck of a Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, and then what was your other one? Yeah, you had New Orleans Colts. That's kind of a
it was Saints Chiefs, Saints Patriots, Rams Chiefs, Rams Patriots, Saints Colts.
Yeah, I mean, they got the Patriots in there a lot. I mean, I'm just waiting. Listen, I wasn't one of those guys that said Tom Brady's done like 5 years ago. He was like 37. No,
I said that last year.
But right now, once you start getting into, I'm a little bit older than Tom Brady. I'm not the athlete, or I didn't stay in shape. Although Tom Brady, I'm gonna be honest with you, in my heyday, I think I could run circles around Tom Brady. Did you see him at the Combine a few years ago?
Yeah.
I ran a better 40 than he did when I was in high school. Just to let you know. But I'm not 6'5". I'm not 6'5", 220. So, but I'm a little older than Tom. But there comes a point where you just can't. Something's going to happen here, Michael. Like, what is he going to be? 46 years old and you're going to take him first round in fantasy? I mean, when does it end? Is it game 7 of when he's 43? Is it game 2 of this coming up year? Like, in other words, I wasn't predicting him to decline in his 30s, because quarterbacks don't get hit anymore, by the way.
Yeah, never.
Not in the NFL.
If you do, you're flagged and fined a lot.
But right now, what is he's like 41 or something? I mean, it's going to stop somewhere. So I just and I'm going to go ahead. This is going to be my first prediction on it. I think the Patriots are done, like winning Super Bowls from now on. And watch, they'll be 14-2, right?
Right.
Because of my prediction. But no. This is my first. No Gronk. I like what they did in the draft. Matter of fact, their draft was awesome. By the way, it gets a grade A from me. I mean, we don't know about drafts until maybe 2 or 3 years down the line. We'll know a little bit next year. But no Gronk, and then just dude, like it's got to stop somewhere. Like somebody's got to. They might win their division. Here's how you stop the Patriots. Enough regular season teams beat them. They'll still win their division because it's crappy, right?
Yeah.
But they win their division like at 10-6, and they have to play that extra wild card game. That will hurt them. Yes. It's really advantageous for the Patriots to get home field and just to get the 2 home playoff games and get in the Super Bowl. They're going to have to do that to get in the Super Bowl again. I don't think they can go from a wild card position anymore to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't see that. And Brady has got to decline somewhere. So I wouldn't pick any of those Patriot ones you just told me. All those Patriot ones you can scratch out.
Yeah.
I'd actually the least percentage on that list. I'd actually have the Colts, Andrew Luck versus Drew Brees in that scenario.
That'd be a great matchup.
That's a good Super Bowl. But we'll see what happens. And it sucks about this damn Tyreek Hill thing because I would easily have the Chiefs-Rams.
Yeah.
Would be mine. I think the Cowboys can beat the Rams. Some we'll talk about in the future. It could be Chiefs-Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because I think the Cowboys have improved more so than the Rams.
Yes, I think the Rams haven't gotten any better, and so teams have film on them now. So they're going to have I'm talking like 10-6, 11-5 season.
There's no Ndamukong Suh either. He hasn't signed with the Rams.
Yeah,
and he was a major contributor stuffing up that middle.
Right. I believe he was looking somewhere else. I remember seeing a Twitter feed about that. But you have to realize how old that defense is, to be honest with you. Peters is the youngest guy in the secondary. Then this is his 5th year, in there. But he seemed to can't stay healthy like anymore. Ateed Khalib, it seems to be always injured now.
Right.
Their safeties, I can't name their safeties off the top of my head, but they were injured last year as well. I think their defense.
I think they lost a safety, LaMarcus Joyner, also, if I'm not mistaken. So their D line
went to the Browns actually.
Yeah, their D line is formidable. I mean, you have a bunch of first round picks there, but losing Ndamukong Suh is going to hurt. I don't know how they'll replace him. I mean, and their replacement could be good, but he's not Ndamukong Suh. So I think the Cowboys, long story short, the Cowboys have gotten better, and I'd actually put the Cowboys Colts would be a better would be a really good matchup in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Colts offensive line is the best in football. They have now replaced the Cowboys they're the Cowboys of a couple of years ago.
Right.
That Colts offensive line is nasty, and so that'll probably get Andrew Luck. When you give Andrew Luck time, he's the real deal. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Colts were in the Super Bowl. As a Texan fan too, I'm a Texan fan. I don't want that to happen, but I could see a Colts Cowboys or a Colts Saints. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah.
Yeah, and as the time gets closer, a couple, maybe a month out, we will start picking division champions and whatnot. But I would if the Colts were to make it to the Super Bowl, it would be through a wild card pick because looking at their division, looking at the other teams in it and their schedules and stuff like that, I don't see them winning the division.
Right.
But with that being said, they are a team set up to win a wild card game and make it to the Super Bowl. They remind me much of the Pittsburgh Steelers from a couple years ago. When I say a couple years, 8 or 9 years ago, when they came from the 6th seed and won the Super Bowl. That is what. They
they lost LaMarcus Joyner. He went to the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. That's what I said it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys. That is it for today's show. Join us tomorrow, same time, 2:30 East Coast time on YouTube, also on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. All the links in the description below. But we'll catch you guys tomorrow. As always, go Chiefs. Or Texans. Or Cowboys.